Oh, yeah. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Yes, BYND. Oh, yeah. Just checked it out at 12% this morning, 319. All right. Yes. NH Funny Farm. Welcome. Welcome. Good morning. Doc Airline, Beyond Meat. Yes, retail got paid today. Let's go fishing. Bam, bam. All right. I hear you. Jace. Good morning. Yeah, we got a Beyond Meat's on the move this morning. Let's take a look across the board. Welcome to the tank, everyone. Good morning. First things first, I'm not a financial advisor. I do not hold a degree in finance. I make no guarantees. And when you see me purchasing into a stock, you'll never see me buy in a lump sum. I always make small purchases throughout the day. And then I come out in larger chunks. Now, many of the stocks over the last week that we've been trading in the last 2 weeks, have done extremely, extremely well. And to give you an idea of what kind of returns we've gotten, I can show you a spreadsheet that shows the last week right here, last 2 weeks. And this is what we've done. These are the stocks we've traded here recently. And when you're making these kind of percentage gains, everyone, please understand that it's just as easy to make these kind of losses in this market, okay? Now, the way I have this set up is it shows the stock symbol, what we made, the price of the closing price the day before, and then the high of the next day. So when you're looking at these, you're seeing the stock symbol, the percentage price gain, where it started and where it ended up. This is the previous day's closing price, and this is the following day's high. Over here, this means an after hours, after hours, after hours, after hours, after hours. And it would behoove you to become a Catfish member of the tank so that you could get these after hour notifications that I send out on YouTube to let everyone know that the stock is taken off in after hours and you should sell it for a profit. Or my suggestion is to sell it for a profit. And that being said, everything that I do here on this channel is a suggestion only. I'm not telling anybody what to do. All right. Looks like we got a whole flock of dust on my screen this morning, so let's get that off of there first. Give me a moment, please. We'll do some house cleaning. Quick house cleaning here. Hold on just a second here. Oh, that's pretty. That's pretty. Get that pesky dust off there. Pesky dust. All right. We'll do the same thing with this second computer too. Try and get the dust off there. So, as usual, I have some interesting things to show you today. All right. NH Farming Farm, yes. How's Mrs. Cat? She's doing fantastic. MQFK, good morning to you. Rolando Mota, good morning. DK Stacker. Isn't this the Enron's tax advisor? I might be a tax advisor. I would advise you that if you are making these kind of gains each day, like here, if you're trading and making these kind of gains each day, my tax advice is to set aside 30% every day, pull it out of your account and move it over into a interest-bearing account. 30% of your gains every day, pull it out of your account and move it over into an interest-bearing high-yield account and pay your taxes quarterly. No, I don't. You can see the price of these stocks. They're not all penny stocks. There's only two, I think, on here that are penny stocks. Hector Caballero. Buenos dias, mi amigo. SGOV. Let's go look at it. SGOV. Let's go take a peek at it. Okay. What am I going to do with that? This is about day trading, my friend. You can't day trade $100 stocks unless you're a millionaire. Smooth. Yo, UNC. Si es posible, tenemos muchos más aquí que para hablar español. Yo diga muchas gracias por ustedes estar aquí esta mañana. UNC, is that a stock? I don't see that symbol. High yield to park IRS cash. That's right. That's exactly right, Hector. Take your IRS payment, move it over into a high yield account. Take your 30% in, and by the end of the time you've got to pay, your 30% is now 31 or 2% or 33%. But we day trade stocks here, so SGOV is not one we would want to day trade, because if you don't mind, I'll explain to you. If you had $1,000, you could buy 10 shares of this stock. If you had $1,000, you could buy 10 shares. If the price raises $1, then you've made, on 10 shares going up $1, you've only made $10 profit. You've tied up $1,000 of your money to get 10 shares and make $10. That's not good. If you've got $1,000 and this stock is $1 a share, and you buy 1,000 shares and it goes from $1 to $2, goes up $1, well, you just made $1,000. Alberto, buenos dias a todos, ¿sí? BT, yo no sé. Vámonos. Mira, como amigo. BT. Looks to be moving this morning anyway. So let me show you what I do when someone wants me to look at it. When I'm thinking about buying a stock, this is my process. Number one, BT. Okay. Well, let's go find out how many shares are outstanding. Write it down. This is the first thing. Click on statistics. This is Yahoo I'm using. The first step, click on statistics and go look at what the business does, profitability, their profit margin. It's negative 53%. Their profit margin is negative 53%. Come over here and look at how many shares are outstanding. 321 million shares outstanding. Okay? That's that's a lot. Their float is 314 million shares. Insiders of the company are only holding 2%, so they have no vested interest in what happens with this company. See that? Insiders have no vested interest in this company. 2% held by insiders. They don't give a damn what happens to this company's stock price, really. Held by institutions, 40%. That's the one good thing, okay? Now, let me show you something else. The next thing that I'm going to look at is I'm going to go up here to institutional ownership page right here. And this is on Fintel, Fintel, and I'm going to put in BT. Enter. Institutional ownership. There are 292 institutions. 281 of them are holding long positions and no shorters. That is good. That gives the stock a plus. Zero short. That's very unusual. And institutional owners have, over the last most recent quarter, MRQ, most recent quarter, have increased their portfolios by 19%. That's good. That's a plus. All right. So the first thing I'm doing is looking at what their debt looks like, what kind of income they make. I'm looking at how many shares there are in the company. Then I'm looking at, are institutions increasing their portfolios? Yes, they are. And not only that, you can see it visually by this chart over here. See that? Now, you'll give me just a moment. The next thing I want to do is I want to come down here on institutional ownership and look at any big buys that have been coming in. And one of them I see here recently is BlackRock, okay? Well, I like that. I like that. They just made a buy. Their previous share amount holding was 7 million, now 25 million. Okay. I like that. They increased their portfolio by percentage share, 223% increase. So I do like that. Now, coming down here and looking at the most recent buyers of all these that are coming in and increasing their positions, I'm looking for any names that I might. This is old money. This is good old money. It's good to see also state retirement funds coming in. I always look for that. And another thing I want to see is I want to see index funds buying the stock, because index funds buy and hold for 10 years. There's an index fund right there. There's an index fund. There's an index fund. So I like that. So there's quite a bit about this that I like. Wells Fargo just buying in, taking up a new position. This is a new position. They've never held stock before. See, it's not an increase in their portfolio. This is a new position just taken up by Wells Fargo. So, yeah, I like it more. There's BlackRock where they came in. It's a big increase, man. 154% to the value of their increase. So, yeah, I like it. BTBT. Now, the next thing I want to look at on it is I want to see what its chart looks like. So I'm going to click over here on the left side, chart. And I like the fact that it's up this morning 2.6%. I've got more I'm going to show you here in a minute. So I just don't want to look at this daily chart here, which looks good. Look at that thing climbing. But I also want you to know this morning in the pre-market, the price was $3.92. Well, you should have sold there. If you own this stock, you should have had sell orders there. You should have sold 387, 388, 391, 2. Let me show you my buy-sell sheet here. See these numbers right here at the bottom? It says sell. Sell right there in the blue. Sell at the 92, folks. Sell at the 92. I do not trade gold. I own gold. Okay, got it. VZ Rover. Q stocks are going to be hot today. QUBT maybe, or Mirage Virgin XAUUSD. Okay. I'm not sure what that means. So anyway, just so you know, on this stock again this morning, you should have sold it there at 392. That's one of my sell numbers. Buy back at 3 right here. Buy back here, folks. Wait for it falls to 377, 378. You can already see that's a very common number there where they like to accumulate it, 377, 78. Now, I wouldn't buy a lot there either. I'd buy a little there, and then if it fell to here, I'd buy a little there, and then if it falls down here, I'd buy a little bit there, and if it got there, then I'd buy more if this thing keeps falling, okay? But here's what I want to look at. I want to look at the 6-month chart. Wow. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, this type of stock, when you start seeing this is what I like to call a swing trader, okay? And what you need to be doing is every week when you see it hit this low right here, and look at this, it's right now where that point is. It's right on that point pretty much. So this has definitely already been proven as a resistance point on this stock where it sits right now. Okay. It's already been proven as a resistance point right there. So if it cannot break over that, then this thing's going to fall, and it could fall sharply because see how quickly and rapidly it went from there to there with very little resistance. If it falls below this point right here, now if it falls, it's going to fall to right there where this hitch was. It could bounce off there and then go back up, or it could do the same thing, what they call mirroring, and do a same hitch and then drop to this price or drop there. But right now, with these institutions coming in like BlackRock and others and increasing their positions, I have the likely feeling that it's probably going to keep pushing on up here. But listen, you can, if you watch the historical pricing on this, you could see more. So let's go see something here. Let's go look at this. Swing trading means you hold the position for a month, you sell it after a month, then you buy it after a month, and then you sell it after a month because they're swinging it up and down monthly, okay? But what I want to do now is come down here and I want to look at the volume and I want to look at the price history over this last year and I want to look at daily price swings. So going back to October 24th of 2024, DEF is going back up. Thank you, Gold Running Duck. Thank you. It's like, honey, you have to watch your stock and stalk it for months and months. Yes. Do you trade Bitcoin? I would suggest if you're going to do Bitcoin, my thoughts are anyway right now that it might be a little bit overinflated. So be careful with any Bitcoin, but XRP is where you should be. It's going to be the Bitcoin of the future for common man, for commoners. So let's do something here. Going back to on BTBT or any stock that you want to research, folks, look at their historical data. Go back a year. What was the price here for the high of the day? 415. Now, also, it opened at 397. They took it down 13 cents, I'm sure, to 384. They beat it down right out of the open, most likely. From 397, they took it down 13 cents, and then it went up from 484 to 415. 31 cents it went up to 415, and then they pulled it back down 15 cents. Half of the gain was taken away by the closing. Now, I want to make sure you guys can see everything because sometimes my phone zooms in on me and I don't know it. So give me a second to, give me just a second here to get this thing fired up and make sure you guys can see what I'm seeing. Also, I don't just trade stocks, day trade stocks. I own a lot of stocks long. These are the stocks over here that I hold long. Now, I can't show you the actual stock names, but the long positions that I hold, look at all the green on them over the last, you can see up here, I have this chart set up to show 5 days ago, 10 days ago, 30 days ago. And over here, this is the yearly gain on the stocks that I hold, the 1 year gain on the stocks that I hold. And you can see the percentage gains on these stocks I've been holding for over a year. And you can get this list if you become a member of the tank at the Monster or Goliath level. And you can get this list. You can get this list from me if you become a member at the Monster level or Goliath level. Monster level members of the tank get this list from me, and they cannot change any data on the list. It's just what you got. Goliath level members, if you get this list, you'll be able to edit these and you can put in your own stocks as the days go forward. And these are the gains on the stocks that I have held over the last year. I love anchovies too, Doc. I got used to anchovies back in college. I used to order my pizzas when I was in college, and I lived in a dorm. And by the time that pizza delivery guy got to your door, he'd have three other students behind him following the pizza. And they'd come in, oh man, let me get a slice, And that got old. And so I started ordering them with anchovies. And they'd follow that pizza guy in my room, and then I'd open that box and they'd see those anchovies on there and they'd go, oh, no way. And then they'd walk off. Well, catfish do eat anchovies. Yeah, so true. But anyway, the stocks that I hold long have been doing very well. This one up 190%, 96% over the last year, 86%, 115. Let me make sure you guys can see everything here. I'm trying to get to my channel here. View your channel. Go. Okay. Just give me a moment here. We'd probably be around 9:30 or so when we get there. Just need address. Okay. I'm selling something here on Facebook. Okay. So I'm going to have to take this item that I'm selling on Facebook upstairs here for a moment. You guys are going to have to hold on a minute. Let me go over to my Spotify. We'll play you some of my music while where we have a lot of music. I have about 120 song playlist of original music. And right now I'm going to play you my songs, or one of them. And this song is called the 3-minute song because I expect to be gone no more than 3 minutes. So we just got to get this page pulled up. Show all. And maybe we'll find the 3-minute song. And I will, as I said, be right back here. I got to go put this item upstairs that I'm selling, but this is my channel, and these are all my songs. There it is, the Singing the 3-minute song. Singing the 3-minute song. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you enjoy this song. And I have no idea what that was. Here we go. The 3-minute song. And why do not I do?
There are times when you find yourself waiting in line. It can be so frustrating when you're wasting your time. But hey, I know a way to help time move along, and it comes in the form of this 3-minute song. So next time that you find yourself having to wait and you're losing your patience and can't concentrate, help pass the time and you won't lose your mind if you're singing this 3-minute song. So come on, sing this 3-minute song. feel better when you sing along. It's a song that won't last, but it helps time to pass when you're singing the 3-minute song. Yeah, it's the song that won't last, but helps time to pass when you're singing the 3-minute song. So here on my mark now, 1 minute past. See, that didn't take long, and in fact it was fast. And the reason it didn't seem quite so dang long was because you were singing the 3-minute song. Yeah, you're singing the 3-minute song, 'cause it's here to help time move along. No, it's never too short and never too long. It's the perfectly 3-minute song. So next time that you find yourself waiting somewhere and you feel like you're gonna start pulling out hair, just start singing this fun little 3-minute song. And before you will know it, 3 minutes is gone. No long gone. So next time that you find that you're standing in line, you might think of this 3-minute song, pass the time and start humming it softly or sing it out loud. Who knows who might join and that's there in the crowd, and you'll all sing in the 3-minute song. And you'll feel better when you're singing along. No, it's never too short and never too long. It's a perfectly 3-minute song. So I'll call this the end of my 3-minute song. I hope that you've liked it and you sang along. And now that it's over, don't worry, my friends. With 3 minutes left, you can sing it again. So come sing along, 3-minute song. You feel better when you sing along. It's a song that won't last and helps time to pass when you're singing the 3-minute song.
They told you you built the levee and you gotta keep the water out too. How much do you have in common with them that direct you? Country clubs and plantations just one.
I don't know what that is. All right, I'm back, everybody, and took a little more than 3 minutes. Next time I have to make sure that I'm actually playing my song list instead of just one song off there. And so I'm going to go over here and put my song list. Search. This is me on Spotify. There we go. And now it should play all my songs. All right. Yep. We'll get that next time. We'll play some more music for you later. We'll play some music for you live too here on this channel. All right, Jose Pazmino, buenos dias. Let's make some money. Jeff Jacobs, I hear you. Jose Pazmino, questions if you can answer. If not, it's okay. QMMM, when is it going to be unhalted? 15 minutes usually is a halt. And SEV thoughts. First timer, all right, good morning, welcome. Sorry I stepped away a minute. I had to go and take care of some business, and I try my best to answer everyone's questions, so I will take a look at what you just called out. If you'll give me a second, get a new sheet of paper here. QMMM, huh? Okay. So we got a new one to start with. QMMM. Okay. SEV. All right, got it, Jose. Pasmino. So right now, I got somebody that asked me this morning about BTBT. Wanted to know what my thoughts were on BTBT. So let me tell you what I do when someone calls out a cat. Jack CW, hey, wow, it's been a while. Hi, Cat. Could you check out the long-term chart of CLS? Yeah. Gotcha, Jack. All right. I'll get to it. But the first thing I want you to know, ladies and gentlemen, when someone calls out a stock for me to look at, the first thing I do is I go straight to statistics. Bam. This is number one. Go to statistics and go look at their business profile. What kind of money are they operating on? What's their profit margin? Go look at these things. Right here, their profit margin is negative 53%. Red flag. Okay. That's a red flag, but that it's not necessarily going to be the end of the world, but that's just the first thing I don't like about it. But their balance sheet is positive. Their total cash is positive. They got $181 million in cash. And their total debt here is 43. So next thing I want to see, how many shares you got? Well, outstanding. This company has 300 and their float is 314 million shares. I don't like that. I don't like shares that high, but then again, it's not too high. Next thing I want to look at, institutional ownership. Come over here. I'm on Fintel. I type in right up here in the search, BTBT. Enter. There it is, institutional ownership. I click on it. This is the second thing I do. All right, when someone asks me to look at a stock, I see that it only has 292 institutions, but I do see the change of ownership is going away from it. 27% institutions have got out over the most recent quarter. I don't like that. I don't like the BTBT has institutions pulling out of it. That's not good. So that's another red flag for me, okay? But recently, wait a minute, I'm sorry. Recently, over the most recent quarter, more institutions have come in. This is kind of strange. Their percentage portfolio value decreasing by 27% over the most recent quarter, but institutions have been adding by 19.67% over the most recent quarter. So that's kind of interesting. And another thing I like about this stock is BTBT has 281 long, no shorts, no shorting of it. There's zero short on it, no short positions. That's very unusual, and I like that. And looking over here at institutional buy-ins, look at how many have recently come in. That's pretty big. That's a lot of increases. Let's go see who's coming in lately. Oh, wow. Well, of course, BlackRock. And they just added from 7 million to 25 million shares. 223% increase. Well, I like that, folks. BTBT. I like that. Now I want to look and see, are there any index funds buying in? Any index funds? Who's buying in? What kind of companies? Recently. Hey, there we go. There's some index funds coming in. Right there. US MIX index fund. And there's another one on the heels of that, TIEX. Another one, FS. No, I like this. See, index funds, ladies and gentlemen, are not like ETFs, okay? Index funds they invest for long term, 10 years. They're looking out 10 years. They're looking out 20 years, index funds, folks. They've been pouring into SoFi over the last 6 months. I mean, pouring in. Unbelievable amount of indexes coming into SoFi stock over the last eight months, actually. And I see down here BlackRock coming in, Wells Fargo coming in. So, yeah, I like this stock, BTBT. Mm-hmm. I do like it. I like stocks that have index funds buying into them. And so, yeah. Now, another thing I want to do is on this page, I'm going to hit Control F. It pops up a window on my screen up here at the top, and I can type in whatever I want. So I'm going to type in here state. Yeah. So now what happens is every time you tap on this button, it will jump to a place where the word state is on the page. Okay. Every time you tap this button, it will jump to where that word is on your page. So I'm going to tap it, and I see first New York State Retirement Fund, and they just came in October the 8th. So I like state funds coming in, retirement funds like that they're looking for solid. They do their research, believe me. So let's go see who else is coming in. California State Teachers Retirement System. See, that's good. They came in August of last year. Also, State Street Corporation. Well, State Street. They own 4 million shares of this stock, folks. That's good. That's good. State Street. Yep, they even have more here. So that's the end of the states that are in it. The rest of it is a real estate form. All right, so just wanted you to be aware of these things. Before I buy a stock, these are the things I'm looking for. You got to really do your research, folks, before you just dive in on something. And you never just dive in anyway. You're going to buy in very small increments. Now, this morning, I've got several people who've called out a lot of different stocks already. So these are the things, though, that I like to look at when someone calls out a stock. What I want to know about it. And another thing I want to know about the stock is I want to know about its daily trading activity, price swings per day. And I want to look at the history of how this stock has traded. So I'm going to go over here now, scroll back a whole bunch to, let's just do March. What the heck? I never clicked on news. I never clicked on news, folks. I clicked on history only. Never clicked on the word news. Historical data, please. Thank you. Let's scroll back down here again. Let's go down to March. Price opened up at 228. Oh my God, what the heck, Yahoo? The hell are you doing to me? I want historical data only. I'm not going to the news. Thank you. Let's move the cursor way over here, away from anything else. All right, down to March. Price opened on this day. I'm looking at March the 10th, 243. They let it go up a whole penny to 244. Then they ran it down to 211. So this stock is traded 33 cents. That's a good number. After they took it down to 211, then they brought it back up 5 cents off that, and it closed at 216. Now, the next morning, and that was on 13 million shares, the next morning, it opened up 4 cents higher. Then it went from 219 down, I'm going to assume, to 2. They tried for 213 for the bottom, and they got 212.5. So they ran it down 6.5 cents out of the gate, and then it went from 212 to 239, 240 basically. So it went 38 cents up, and then it closed just 2 cents off the high. Well, that's good, folks, when a stock closes near the high, because it'll springboard usually off that momentum. And sure enough, the next morning, And that was on 10 million shares, by the way. The next morning, though, after closing near that high, which is always a good sign to close 2 cents off the high, look where the price opened up the next morning, 243, see? May the 12th. Now we're going to look at that day. It went up 3 cents. They let it climb to 247. Then they smashed it down to 227. A 20-cent down, and it closed back up 6 cents at 233. 19 million shares traded that day. Next, the stock 234 open, which was a penny higher than the day's close before. They let it go from there, 234. They took it down out of the gate to 222, 12 cents down, trying for 13, but got 12. Then it went from 222 back up to 237. And so it regained, 15 cents, and then closed 227, so 10 cents off. Man, beating it up, 12 million shares that day. The next day, March 14th, opened 249, and they pulled it down 13 cents almost to 237. See that? 12 cents down. They almost got 13 down. And then from 237, the son of a gun went up to 273. Now, I'm not certain that this is the way it happened. I'd have to look at the charts back then to see. But it could have opened at 249, and on the momentum and volume, because the volume had jumped up to 17 million shares from just 10 and 12, now 17 million. So my presumption is that they snookered people. They took it from 249 out of the gate up to 273. So it went up 24 cents. And then they knocked the crap out of it from 273 and took it down 40 cents to 237, folks. And then it came back up and closed at 244, 7 cents off the rundown. That's probably what happened with the volume being this high. That's my guess is what happened. Man, they pumped and dumped that. Now, I could be wrong. It could have come out 249 on the open and dropped 12 cents, then gone up to 273. But I think it's more likely they stooped people on March the 14th. And they took it at 249 up to 273, bashed it down to 237, and it came back up to 244 close. Then the next day, it opened at 243. So that makes me feel even more like that's what happened. But if it had been the other way around, then this would have opened higher. Anyway, the next day, they let it run from 243 down to 225. So they took it down 20 cents, 17 cent down. Then they took it up to 244. So it went then up 19 cents up, and it closed 3 cents off the high at 241. And that is, I'm guessing, pretty certain what happened that day because it closed near the high. So your guess is opened 243, took it way down to 20 cents, almost 18 cents to 225. And after 18-cent drop, then they took it from 225 up 20 cents, 19 cents up. And then it closed 3 cents off the high at 241. The next day opens 234. So right away, I can already tell you by looking at these closings and openings, I don't want to hold this stock at the end of the day. There's no certainty, and I don't want to hold this stock at the end of the day. It's a day trade only for me. What I made, and then I cash out, and I move to the next stock, the next, or whatever, do it all over the next day. But looking at these, what's going on here, man, just cash out at the end of every day and take your money, just like at the casino. All right. And now, and this is on BTBT, folks. So I'm just breaking down how it trades daily. I want to know what swings it's getting. It looks like it's swinging about 30 cents a day, folks. 30-cent a day swing. And now let's go up to more recent. How has anything changed? Well, the prices dropped like crazy in April, all the way down to 178, 174, 173. In April of this year, folks, May, it starts to pick up. The volume starts to get bigger too. We're starting to see volume now in the mid-teens instead of just the tens and so forth. Volume in the mid-teens and in the 20s. BTBT is what I'm studying here. May the 23rd opens at 246.50, goes down 5 cents, then goes up to 252. Man, this is trading in a very tight range. It's not one to make a lot of money on there day trading, folks. That's for sure. Not really at all. June the 24th. Oh, let's go on up here. July, August. Let's go on up here. Now the volume is starting to really get higher. We're in the 20 millions to 30 millions every day. This should induce higher price swings, okay? The more volume you get, the bigger the swing. So let's see if I'm right. Price opened at this day, 315 is where it opened on August the 6th. 315 open. They took it down 5 cents to 310 out of the gate, I'm guessing. And then it went up to 46. That's a 36-cent gain. And then it closed 2 cents off the high. And that means it's going to go higher the next morning, folks, on 51 million. And sure enough, the next morning, boom, 354 open. I hope you're learning something here. After it opened at 354, they took it down, way down. Well, let me get back. Let me get on this wrong. First, here's what happened. My guess is out of the gate, 354, they got some FOMO going on. Oh my God, yesterday it was 2 days ago, it was 270 now, and now 354, now 364. Let's buy it. Oh, hell yeah, buy it, dumbass, because they're shorting it there. And at 364, they ran it down 60 cents almost to 289. 60, shit, they ran it down 80 cents. And then it closed off the bottom, just 6 cents up off the bottom. That's weak. And look at the volume. Look how hard they hit that right there with 106 million that day. Man, what a head fake they pulled on people on retail that day. Man, oh man. I hope you're enjoying this, folks. BTBT. The next day, 299 was the price, and they let it go down from there. I'm sure they attacked it down from 299 to 282. 17 cents down, and then from 282, it went up to 302, up 20 cents, and then it closed 3 cents off the high. Well, that's good. 299 just near the high, so that means it's going to go up the next day, right? And sure enough, it did. It opened at 304. Opened at 304. I'm going to guess, looking at where the price ended at the end of the day, that it went from 304, folks, on 41 million shares this day. 304, they took it up 20 cents to 324. And then they smashed it down to 297. They took it down 23 cents down, and then it closed only 3 cents off the bottom. All right. So this is what I'm doing. I'm breaking down the stock BTBT to see how it's being traded daily, what they're doing with it, how much it's swinging, what to expect out of the gate, how much they usually knock it down every day out of the gate, then how much does it recover, and then what does it do at the end of the day? That's what I'm looking at on this stock. All right. So, let me back up here. Try and catch everybody's comments. Brady Thompson, what's up, Catfish? I've scalped SCNX twice this morning. Are you in it still? Yes, I am. Just buy FMG on the ASX and thank me in a year. All right. Jepification. FMG. Write it down. I've also had some call outs this morning. to check out QMMM. But anyway, so this is what's going on with this stock. The volume has been rising and rising and rising. It's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And now we're up to 40 and 50 and now 60 and 70 million. So a lot of hype going in now with the price now rising all the way into the fours. And the high recently was 429, just so you're aware of this. And now today we're in the 380 range. So 439 has been the highest high as of late. So that's going to be your ceiling, folks, 439. And so if you bought it here in the 380s, remember that 439 has been a resistance point before. Okay, that's on BTBT. Okay, so that's enough on that one. I want to go over and as he just mentioned, I own this stock here, SCNX, and this is what was happening last night in the after hours to it, SCNX. And now let's look at it in this morning. This morning, where are we on it? 190. All right. Okay. Man, look at that thing herking and jerking all morning long. I guarantee you 188. Now, I'm going to show you some things here about this stock. Okay. One of the things I'm going to do right now, besides focus on this one a little bit, but I'll show you some more about this stock in a moment. But I do want to look up these stocks people have called out. So I'm going to quickly look at these. QMMM was called out by Jose Pazmino. QMMM. Let's go look. And let's back this camera out because usually this silly thing will zoom in like a crazy. God damn. All right. Just give me a second here, folks. Okay. I've got a car for sale right now, and I got all these people contacting me about it. All right. Good morning from Okie. Hello there, Bobby Batson. Welcome to the tank. I like this stock, QMM. I'll take a look a little bit more at it. First things first, we're going to come over here. QMM statistics. All right. Companies operating on a 150% minus profit margin. Return on assets is negative 62%. Return on equity is negative 198%. Well, I really don't need to look much further than that, folks. And their revenue is only 1.88 million. Their quarterly revenue growth has reduced by negative 40%. Their net income, bottom line, negative 2.82 million. They've only got $218,000 in cash. No, that's the first three strikes. Let's go now to institutional ownership. We're on Fintel's page. Just give me 1 second here. I want to make sure I have to monitor this camera because it can be really crappy at times. Yes. So institutional ownership of this stock is 5 institutions. And so therefore, I'm definitely not interested at all in this stock QMMM. So we'll strike that off the list. Jose, do not mess with that stock. Now, someone also called out this morning SEV stock. It says SEV. This could be a good stock to catch on a fleecing this morning. Yesterday up 57%. Let's look at the monthly chart. That looks very strong. Let's look at the 1 year. Let's look at the 5 year, the 1 year, the 6 month. Okay. Well, here's what I like about this stock. At this stage of the game, there's no one owns it for more. And why I like that is because a lot of times you get resistance from previous owners at much higher prices as it starts to rise. And they get close to where they made their entry point and they sell, and finally, because they've held it for so long, years, finally it's getting back up to where they got in and they get their money back and they're like, now I can move it on to a real stock, So that's one thing about this stock it does not have. It doesn't have any previous owners at higher prices, so there's no resistance from that. So I like that about it too. Okay. SEV. One thing I want to look now at on SEV is its historical data. But today, look for a fleecing on it. And this stock has been in existence since October the 16th, folks. This is a new business. They're 5 days. They started, look at this. Look where their price was, people. $22 on IPO day. Opened at $19.99, went to $22.43, and then down to $3.55. Learn from this, folks. Don't screw with IPOs. Okay? There's a valuable lesson here on this stock right now. Never buy a stock on IPO day. Okay? Don't do it. Look at that. Closed at $8, folks. Opened at $19.99, ran up on excitement to $22.43, dropped the price to $3.55, suckers, and then $8 closing. Next dollar, $5.84 close, $5.28 close, $5.52, whittling it down. Volume is only 3 million, 1,673,000. The volume sucked out of it. Now volume's starting to pick back up. Wow. Well, This doesn't have enough tracking history for me to be comfortable with buying it, okay? It's a newbie, very uncertain, shaky, wobbly little legs like a little newborn, okay? And for that reason, I will pass on this stock. There is nothing. I like to be able to use history to determine the future, and unfortunately, I don't see it there. And I'm sure there's no institutions that own this at all. If I go to institutional ownership and put in SEV, I'm going to find zero, I'm sure. I'm going to go to Fintel, Fintel, and search. And SEV institutional ownership right here, zero, just as I expected. So, nope, that's not a good play. Stay away from that, I'm afraid. But it's your choice. But it doesn't have enough. There's nothing to go by. There's nothing to go. It's too uncertain, too early in the stages. By the way, this morning, I want you to know Beyond Meat was up this morning nicely. I see them trying to come at it now. But it's still up this morning, 4%, BYND. And SoFi this morning, let's go see what it's doing. This is my bread and butter. And of course, it's green again, as I told you it would be. And I told you it would be every day between 2 days ago when it was down like 6-7%. And I said, listen, folks, you don't get chances to buy SoFi down 6% very often because the whole market had tanked off and the Dow was down 400 or 500 and the NASDAQ was down 400 or so. And SoFi was right along with it, down 6%. And I said, folks, you don't get chances to buy other than when the whole market's down. So I'd buy it if I were you. And those of you that did, congratulations. Mr. Catfish, do you think SoFi will pull back below 27 after earnings next week? No, I don't think so. Nope. Now, I have no way of knowing for sure because it's had a common history of dropping a lot after earnings calls. I've shown people that before. I have a earnings day thing that just shows the absolute trouncing of it. Sometimes down 40%, 43%, 45%. In just days, sometimes it was just 5 or 6 days, like May 1st of 2023, May 1st, when I was first talking about the stock, SoFi, when it was $4.66 a share. Remember that? Some people are here right now that were here then when I was saying, buy this stock, SoFi. It's at $4.66 today. I'm buying it right now at this number because I love to buy the 6.6. And I told everybody that day, and look where it is now. It's gone from 466, and man, has it been a roller coaster ride. Holy cow, look at this, folks. To give you an idea, look what we've been through when we started buying in May of 2023. What a roller coaster for SoFi. Up from 445 to 1023. I mean, it just was a roller coaster ride. Then you got David Chiaverini steps in, down to freaking 455 a share, then up in just 1 month, folks. It went from 455 a share on May the 15th on David Chiaverini Day. I call it D-Day. It was on D-Day, C-Day, and there it went up in 1 month. And all my people, I was telling them, buy it, buy it, buy it. Right after this, I started the channel right after David Chiaverini came out with his downgrade and told everyone the stock was worth $250. I started the channel that day. The next day, I started it because I found Danny Deals, Hurricane Lopez, that next day after he downgraded it because I had just bought SoFi on May the 1st at $4.59 a share. And then David Chiaverini went chopping at it, this 0-star rated analyst chopping away at my stock. And I defended it. And I started this channel. And I started this channel because of SoFi. And for those of you that have been here a long time, I've been day trading SoFi for 2.5 years. And the reason why is because of these big swings. These big swings. I mean, it's been perfect for trading. And look at this. I mean, way down here, then way up here, then way down here, and way up here, and way down here, and then try to beat everybody out of it. Oh, man, they tried to just beat everyone out of it as they herked it and jerked it and 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 herked and jerked and herked and jerked. And next thing you know, after you do that, I call this the nut sack right there. And then there's the tool. They herked and jerked it all along. Boom, it jerked right off the screen. Then it comes up here and look at this manipulation. Herking and jerking and herking and jerking and herking it down. And this, ladies and gentlemen, was right here was my birthday. April was my birthday, and they gave me the stock at $8.88 a share on my birthday. $8.88. I got to buy it for $8.88 a share on my birthday, people. And then look at it after that. And by the way, the funniest part was that right here, Kathy Wood sold the stock. Kathy Wood sold a bunch of it, man. And the price went from $7 and shot up to $13 right after Kathy Wood sold it. Just saying. All right. And now you're getting ready to see SoFi make a move that no one's ever witnessed. It's going into outer limits, folks, into a whole new brave and uncharted world SoFi is going to break into here. And it's get to a number where no one owns it for any more. And when it gets to a number where no one owns it for more, ladies and gentlemen, that is when it will really go much higher because it'll have no resistance from previous owners at higher prices. Understand that? So when this thing goes over $31, watch out because it's never had an owner that owns it for more than that that's going to put resistance to it as it goes up. It's going to be epic, folks. Peter Nedick, wow, good morning, everyone. Sledge1312, good morning. Okay, you started the channel. Michael Wellner, God bless, brother. Thank you. Happy Riverboat. Yes, sir. So, anyhow, let's go take a look here at BYND, now up 5% this morning. Nice. Let's go on across the channel and look at some other ones. Buru, that was called out yesterday, didn't make the move that we were hoping it would. World Free Speech, ASST. ASST. All right, let's go look at it. I've looked at several stocks this morning that have been called out. If you called out one and I didn't see it yet, please put it back in again now. Okay. I like it. Now, let me tell you something. My own. Hi, I'm new. I'm from Czechia. Oh, cool. Well, I am from Florida originally, but now I live in Michigan, crazy enough. And I want you guys to see something. I don't just buy stocks, day trading them. I don't just teach how to day trade here. I do have some stocks that are long, that I'm long on. Now, I cannot show you the names of these stocks because they're privy to the people who become members of my channel. But these are the stocks here that I'm long on. This is a Google sheet that I made myself, and it shows the gains over the last 5 days, 10 days, and 30 days. And over here, you can see it shows the gains the last 10 days, 30 days, and 1 year. And it also shows the company's market cap and their PE ratio. And so you can see on the stocks I hold long, and you can get an access to this list if you become a member at the monster level or Goliath level membership. And these are the stocks that I hold long over the last years and what the returns have been on the stocks that I have studied and studied and studied before I bought them, okay? And these are the returns over the last year on the stocks, 25 stocks that I hold long. And if you want this list, become a member at the monster or Goliath level, and like many others have done. And I think you'll be very pleased with the returns. And I could be wrong, but I don't think so. And just so you know, the one that's at the very top, someone just called out on the chat, RGTI. RGTI. That's it. It's come down a lot. It's dropped over the last 10 days. And over the last 5 days, it's dropped 14%. So it might be a place to maybe make an entry on that. Okay. But just so you know, these are the stocks that I own over the last year and the returns on the stocks that I own over the last year. And if you want this list, get yourself a monster level or Goliath level membership. On Goliath level, you'll be able to edit the data. If you buy monster level, you'll just get the data. But if you go in Goliath level, you get to edit the data to your liking. You can change and put in your own stocks as the years go on. So anyway, let me go over here and make sure you guys can see everything. Try and yes, you can see it all. And there's everybody's comments. Hey, everybody. Hey, why don't we do this at 8:08 and 8 seconds? Let's hit the like button. So right up until then, let's show some love. NRXS. I'll write it down. Thoughts on Path. I'll write that down too. Thank you. PATHASST. Okay. Chewy Tree. I write down the names of all those that contribute to this channel with stock suggestions. And some of you get to be in on the list for the winner of the drawing we're going to do today because you picked out such good stocks. One of them is Michelle Taylor. Her name's on the drawing list. She picked out a real runner. All right. So I got CLSK. I like CLSK. I've always told people to buy it way back when it was around $8 a share. I started telling people to buy CLSK when it was at $8 a share 2 years ago. Shalal Hassan, Iron Man Intelligence, Matthew Turgeon, NRXS, got it. World Free Speech, thank you. NRXS. NRXS Matthew. Thank you, Matthew. We'll take a look at it. All right. And thank you for your suggestions. PESI. PESI, okay? Thank you very much. All right. Sorry, Iron Man. High risk was halted 3 to 4 years. Shalal Hassan. Okay, got it. WGRX. All right. Hey, oh shoot, I missed the 808. I missed the 808 bell ringing. Let's do 808 and 48 seconds, all right? Here we go. 808 and 48 seconds, ladies and gentlemen. Let's hit that like button together at 808 and 48 seconds. And let's see some love up until then. Let's go. We're going to start the countdown. Here we go. In 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Please hit that like button right there at 808 and 48 seconds. Yep, TOVX. They finally got everyone out. I told everybody after I sold it that they would run it up. I told everyone that. I said it's the week of attrition, and then they're going to run that up. And I was probably right. TOVX is probably taking off now. Wouldn't be surprised at all. I see it all the time. And I told people that. I said, don't worry. Some people were like, well, why are you selling here? And I said, well, I'm just impatient, but it'll probably run back up after I sell it. Yeah, 17% up today. See? See how it is? Perfect. Nice. Well, for those of you that bought it with me, I told you that I was selling because I was impatient, but don't be surprised. And by the way, it's now up 6% more even this morning. So congratulations on that. TOVX right here, folks. It was even higher this morning in pre-market. They had it up to 42 cents. All right, well, it's what it is. I have to look at my list here, and I do not believe I'm holding any more TOVX as of now. I might be, but I don't think so. Nope. Yeah, I got to check this list here. Nope, I am not. Right now, I'm going to go across this list. NUAI. I want to find it. Buru did not do what we were hoping it would yesterday. So let's go NUAI and take a look at that. Ah, nice. Up over $4 now. Okay. So that looks okay. And now let's look at another one I own. DVLT. DVLT. How's it doing this morning? Up a little bit. That's nice. Recovering from its beating. Recovering from its beating over the last 5 days, though. It's actually up. DVLT building a nice little jerk there we could go off of. Got the double nut sack and the herky jerk, and then you got the work. Hey, man, the 1 month chart, this thing is up 421%, folks. On the 1 month chart, this thing is up 421%. DVLT, just so you're aware of it. All right. Let's look at the 1 year. DVLT, folks. There it is. Might want to pay attention that from here at 227, they pulled it down to 166. 60-cent drop. And of course, the 666, folks, 166. 166, folks. Look at that, Savannah. 166, they took it down, Savannah. That's where it hit. 166. 13, it looks like. And then from 166, they took it up 60 cents. Then they took it down from the 218, where I would have told you to sell at 220. See, buy the 66, sell the 220. 216, 17, 18, 19, and 20, you should have sold all there. And then they brought it back down to 177. Look at that. And then up here to what number? 250. A 75-cent jump up. And then the pullback came down probably the same amount here, because this pullback was from 220 down to 166 or 177. So that was a 50-cent pullback. This is probably another 50-cent pullback. 252 to $2, right? Sure, 208. Look at that, Savannah, 208. Right over here, a 166, and over here, a 208. And now it's at 218. I like it a lot, DVLT. You're probably going to see another increase now, about this much, from the 160 up to that much, to 220. 55-cent jump. So from right here, your sell orders, if you got in at 213, should be up 55 cents, 266. Sell the sucker, folks, at 266. Sell it at 266 and don't be greedy. Sell it even at 248, 49, and 250, okay, after you buy it. sell it at 244, 247, 48, 49, 250, and then they'll pull it back to 233. Then you can sell it at 266, and then they'll pull it back to 249. Then you can sell it at 288, and they'll pull it back to 266. DVLT, that's the stock, that's the call out. I could be wrong, but I don't think so. So I'm going to move this stock down here, DVLT, try to get these alphabetized. Next stock is BYND. Now moving up this morning, 304 in the pre-market. Very nice. Next stock, SCNX. SCNX. And by the way, LAES up this morning in the pre-market. LAES up this morning in the pre-market. Let's get SCNX. This stock was up 350% yesterday. It was called out by Michelle Taylor, and I told her, no, we don't want to buy this stock until tomorrow morning. They'll wash it out tomorrow morning. And look at them taking it out. One's down. They're taking it down, folks. 174. So like I said, and I got a lot of money to buy with this morning on a stock here. So let me get logged in on my account here. Please hold on while I get logged in to my trading account. And we're going to do that right now. So please hold on a minute. All right, we're going to get logged in here on my Charles Schwab. Text me, please. Yeah, Shalal Hassan. And by the way, Shalal Hassan, that number doesn't refer to anything. That's not the number of the demon. It's 616. They now use the number 616. 666 is just mythical movie made up bullcrap. 666 was a misinterpretation of the ancient scriptures. It's 616. Then mark of the devil is the beast is now 616. Since 2007 is when they discovered that. All right, give me a minute, folks. I'll be right back.